Hey, this is Dan from Paracord. Today I'm going to do a video on a shotgun sling. It's going to be done with this coyote brown or tan and black. It's going to be one of the double cobra weaves. You've seen it before on one of my dog collars, but I'm going to be using these standard shotgun attachment points on each end, and there's a unique way that I do it, and sometimes it's hard to finish off those type of weaves or slings, so I'm going to show you how to do that here. Okay, now how I start is you'll have one strand of one color. If you want to make it two different colors, you'll have one strand of one color and then two of another color that's the same. And then what you're going to do is this first color, the single color you have, I have the coyote brown here, you're going to this is going to go in the middle. You're going to half that cord, alright, and it's about 30 feet, 30 to 35 feet of cord, and that piece is going to go in the middle. Okay, so then you have your two outside pieces. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. Now these outside pieces, the inside of the outside piece is going to be shorter, so depending on how long you want your sling to be, you're actually going to double that length. So usually a fixed shotgun sling is probably about 40 to 42 inches. So I'm going to make my fold, I'm going to make it about 90 inches long. Okay, so here it is. I got it to be 90. So this side here is the shorter side. This is the longer side, and you want the inside part to be the shorter side. Okay, so this side that's shorter, that's 90 inches, that's closer to it, we're going to put the shorter side next to the middle color. Alright, I'm going to pull it all the way through. Again, this piece is about 30 feet as well. Okay, now you got your other black. I think I have it here. And then again, you're going to make another piece that's about 90. Okay, and again, you're going to make sure that piece goes in the center. So here, this side here is my 90-inch piece, and I'm going to now put that on, and it's going to be next to the coyote brown. Pull it all the way through. And now you have a lot of cordage here, so it's real easy to get all this tangled up. As you can see, it keeps coming up in balls. Okay, so now you have your three strands here. Okay, just like that. Alright, so your brown or whatever color you're using. I mean, you can use all three blacks, but then make sure these two pieces right here are going to be a little bit shorter. Okay, so you're about to see what we're going to do with that. Okay, now I have my two shorter pieces. Okay, they were the pieces that were in the center, or right next to the brown, or the opposite color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run those through the other end of the sling. Okay. Alright, then you make it the desired length you want, and then you're going to, for video purposes, real quick, I'll just show you what I'm going to do. So once you get the length that you want, you're going to bring it back up here and make sure you keep it on the correct sides, and you're just going to tuck it in. You're just going to tuck it into the knot that you have up at the top, your original knot. So then that'll give you, you know, the distance of your sling that you want. And usually, you won't be able to pick all of it up on the video. Usually, you know, you're going to try and make it to where this fits in. It's perfect. I guess I can go ahead and do it. So I'm going to tuck this under here, and I'm going to leave myself, you know, about 2 inches or so, and then I'm going to pull it tight. Okay, and then the other one, you put it in there about 2 inches and pull it tight. Okay, so now I have my full sling here, and this is just a way to finish it off, because otherwise you'll go all the way down and you'll have these loose ends and you'll just have to tuck it in. But this means it has a good tight secure attachment. Alright, so hopefully you're getting all that. So what I did was, this was about 90 inches. I looped it through the other side, came up there, and looped it through the knot. So once we start weaving, you'll actually be weaving these two together and these two together. And you'll see how that works in just a minute. Okay, so I have a different angle here. Hopefully you can see this well. So I have my two that I looped around and poked through right here through the knots, and I want to try and keep those tight. Now the two cords that I'm going to use to weave with are going to be the outside cord over here and the same side inside cord of the opposite color. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, this is going to go over top, and this is going to be your standard cobra weave, but you're going to weave both of these cords together, the one that's tucked and the one that's next to the opposite color. Okay, alright, and then you're going to come back with the brown. Now keep in mind you have a lot of excess cord here, so trying to keep it untangled will make this job a lot easier. Okay, so there's that one. Alright, now you come over here to this side, and you're going to take the outside cord and the same side brown. Alright, and you're going to put it over top, loop it over, behind and through. Okay, and that's just your standard cobra knot. Again, a lot of excess cord, try to keep it untangled. Okay, and make sure you're keeping these two strands out. You pull them back through and you have to undo everything that you've already done. Okay, now once I've done one to each side, after I've done the second one, I bring that piece over, and that's what I crisscross. So I've done that, I crisscross, and I keep that the same way every time, because then the back of the sling looks a lot better and it looks neat. Okay, once you do that, you'll bring the other one, and you notice you can kind of see it in there how it crisscrosses behind there. And again, you bring it across, okay, and you're using those two inside black cords. Most of the time you're just going to have one cord that you're wrapping around, but since I do that little loop to put the other attachment point, shotgun attachment point on there, okay, again, so once I do this side, so I do the right and then the left, and then the left, the opposite color, comes across, and then I do my knot again. And then this is going to end up making about a 42-inch sling. Now it's not going to be adjustable or anything, and you could choose to make part of it paracord and part of it webbing and put a little adjustment aspect in there. Okay, so as I'm going here, you can kind of see it coming together. Alright, again, this is going to come over the top. And I'm not going to sit here and bore you with this whole thing. I'll shut the video off and come back once I get close to the end and show you what it looks like. But again, so real quick to recap, you have about 30 feet of each cord. You put your one color in the middle, then your other two on the outside. Then the inside of the outside pieces are going to be a little bit shorter. And to make a 40 to 42 inch, I fold it over at about 90. And then that'll take into account the knot and all that. So as you can see, we're getting started here. And if these start to go in a little bit, you can always just pull them up. But once you get a little bit further down, it's a little bit harder to pull these. Okay, so I'm getting down to the end of the shotgun sling, and I noticed that I have my loops crisscrossed. Okay, but that shouldn't cause too many problems. Now, one thing you can do, once you get it fairly close and you get it to the length that you want it, you can come back up here, and if you noticed, these lines here are a little bit longer than when I last had the video up. And so what you can do is you can pull and pull this other end tight, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so what you can do is, it's kind of hard to pull, but if you pull here and just pull a little bit, and then what you have to do, let me move all this other stuff out of the way. And what you have to do is you have to slide all the way down the sling. So you pull a little bit, and you're only going to be able to get a little bit at a time. And you pull all the way down so that it slides all the way through, all the way down to the end, and you'll pull, as you go through, you'll pull a little bit more and more. So just keep pulling, and you can alternate sides till you get it nice and tight. And if you actually do this, you'll understand what I'm saying, where you can't just pull it all at one time. So you already noticed that it's getting a little bit closer. A few more pulls and I should have it. Alright, let's pull this other side and then we'll be done. Alright, so now we got it, and what you can do now is you have this pushed all the way up against here, is you want to run these through the end, and this is all the excess I had, so not too much. Okay, you want to run both of these browns through here. Hopefully I'm getting all this on camera. Okay, and then this last black one. Okay. And they'll all be looped over, and then I will tuck them in to this side. So first off, I'm going to cut it to where I got a little bit of room here to tuck them all in. Okay, so here's the excess I had. And with that excess, you can make some keychains. Alright, so now to make the tucking a little bit easier, I'll go ahead and gut all these, the ends, and it'll make it just a little bit easier to tuck in. Okay, so I got it looped through, I got it gutted, and now I'm just going to tuck them in. I got them pulled tight, so now I'm going to take my forceps here. I'm going to go about three loops down, push it through, and I'm going to take 2 at a time. Just pull them through. Okay. Make sure I pull it nice and tight. Okay, other side. About 3 loops down. Tuck it through. Pull both of these through. Pull it nice and tight. Alright. So there it is. Knot it onto that. Now I'm going to cut these pieces off. And I'm going to melt it. Okay. Now back to this side where I started. I'm going to do the same thing. I have these 2 pieces that I pulled through. Cut them a little shorter. Pull this out. Trim it off. Go about 3 loops down. Okay, there's that one. Now if you weave through the whole time and don't take breaks, I mean, I did this sling over about a 2-3 days time. If you just go straight through, it'll probably take you about 2 hours or so if you don't take any breaks or anything. Alright, I'm going to clip these off. Do the same thing, melt them off. Alright, and now the sling is done. So there's one end, what it looks like. And it ended up being about 42 inches long. And we now get to the other end. And it would look a little bit nicer if I wouldn't have had it twisted down here, but it'll still hold just as strong. All that's melted off. That's it.